I'm Brian Sands.
And I'm Brad Rhines.
And this is Stage Talk with Brian.
And Brad.
And today we're going to be discussing Azul by Cristina Quintana, produced by Southern Rep in a world premiere production. Brad, what did you think of it?
I enjoyed it. A new play from a New Orleans playwright, Anoka grad,
Yes.
who's now living in New York. Starting to get a little recognition. Has won some awards. And it's great to get a world premiere.
What did you think of the play?
I enjoyed the play. So, a lot going on, right? So, it's about a character named Zelia, who is a 20-something young woman in New York. Her mother immigrated from Cuba as a young girl, and Zelia is starting to come to terms with her mother's heritage and where that leaves her as an American with Cuban roots. Is that about right?
But there's more, because as part of it, it's an exploration of her family going back to her great aunt, who in the course of the play, you discovered that it seems as though she had a relationship with another woman in the early days of the Castro regime.
Mm-hmm. A lot going on.
There is a lot going on.
In 85 minutes.
But it's always easy to, in some ways it's easier to follow on the stage than perhaps as we're describing it to you, because it's very clearly laid out.
I think that's right. I thought it was a beautiful production. I thought it was really well directed in that way. It was really clear, really light and airy, a really delicate production, really soft-hearted and sweet. Great music by Sarah Quintana. The music was great. The performers were really, really good. And I thought it was a really sweet production.
And I agree with you in part. There were parts of it that I thought was so beautiful, that was so well written. It certainly left me with a smile on my face and it touched my heart. But there were other parts of it where I just felt it was heavy on the exposition, kind of soap opera-y.
And that's my one downside too, is that there were so many conversations about every conversation is told in short conversations, but every conversation was about a big issue, and it was more telling than showing. It's a character saying, "I'm very upset about my aging mother," saying the effects of the Cuban Revolution were disastrous for this couple, saying I'm encountering these microaggressions on a daily basis because of my accent, but not seeing those things, not showing those things. I almost always come out of the theater thinking, that could have been shorter, that play could have been a little shorter, this one could have been longer. I think there's enough for 3 plays here. I would love to see a trilogy about the relationship during the Cuban Revolution, and then another play about the immigration of the mom, and then a third play about the young woman in New York coming to terms with it. I think there was so much fertile ground to cover that we just got the high point.
You're right. The whole play could have been layered more into the revealing the characters of the people that we were watching. Quintana can write some brilliant, funny, insightful one-liners, and then a scene later, it's just kind of like, I am going to tell you this, like
That's
you
right.
said. So
That's right. The writing's really clear, but it's a lot to take in.
right, and I think we should acknowledge the actresses, Zulimia Guevara, Christina Cuba Hathaway, and especially Sol Marina
She was excellent.
was, the first among equals.
Yeah, and directed by Estefania Fadul, if we're pronouncing those correctly,
Right.
hopefully. I thought the direction was just so delicate and so light and so lovely.
And the only criticism I would have, there were a couple of scenes, and perhaps the fault of or intention of the playwright, that were very static, where for long stretches we're watching 2 people just sitting or standing.
And talking.
And I would have liked to have seen a little more movement on the stage.
Yeah, more small moments.
Yeah, exactly.
But overall, a good play, and I think it has some important things to say. Certainly, it's not a vision of American life that we see a lot. This
No.
Latinx, immigrant, queer story
Right.
that I think deserves a spot on the stage.
Absolutely, and I think we can be, as New Orleanians, especially proud of Cristina Quintana, and be able to say we knew her when.
That's right. That's right. I hope to see what she does from here,
sure.
because this is certainly a great foundation for hopefully more great things to come.
For sure.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us.
I'm Brian.
I'm Brad. This is Stage Talk. We'll see you next time.
Hasta la vista.